Well, hey everyone in internet land. I can't believe this, but we are live in video. This is me, Justin Gentile. You can see my face.
Hi, I'm Timothy McGorry of the... Oh. After you, here we go
Do you
again.
want to do it on three? Do you want to do it on three?
One,
two, three.
The Infinite Grenade Launcher Podcast.
Episode 4. High five. And we got the high fives
when
on
I
video
said
now.
it, I underlined it.
You did?
Yeah.
I had bold and italics.
You couldn't... Covering your bases.
And I was in that font that Joker Man.
I don't know. I'm a Wingdings man. I'm a Wingdings purist.
You can
myself.
read Wingdings? You're like one of those people in Star Wars
I've been
that
studying
talks
Wingdings
droid.
for years. Everyone's like, oh, learn Japanese, learn Spanish. It could help you in like the business world. Nope. Wingdings.
You've been learning the Illuminati language.
It's coming back. That's right.
Woo. Scary, spooky
This
stuff.
makes me feel our owl statue triangle square.
Ooh. See, I got to pick up on that. I only took it in high school for a little while.
You'll get it.
Yeah, oh well. So, how was your week?
How was my week? How was my month? Man.
I know it's been a long time.
It's been...
well, we got to hang out for WrestleMania.
We did get to hang out for WrestleMania, which is really nice.
32.
Totally hanging out for that.
Not that anything important happens at WrestleMania anymore. WrestleMania just kind of happens.
Shane O'Mac,
that was awesome.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
But in the gaming world, I had a really fun time that night, by the way. But in the gaming world, I really... so I just bought an N64, and I've been playing with my friends a lot. We've been doing a lot of GoldenEye, grenade launchers and caves.
You've been doing GoldenEye on
lasers and
N64,
archives.
not the GoldenEye Reloaded,
No.
none of that.
On N64,
Wow.
pick up Mario Kart.
You had an N64 growing up, right? We talked about that at the end of the first episode.
And then I met. It was very strange. I met a woman in a parking lot the other day, and I bought Ocarina of Time for $28.
Oh, this was a prearranged meeting.
Prearranged
you didn't,
meeting.
Spot her.
She's like, I
rows
believe
down.
you have something for me, and I have $28 in my hand, and like everyone else.
That seems like a very random
who
amount.
is that man?
Did you have to
giving
negotiate?
that stranger money with no prompt?
Did you have to negotiate the price of Zelda? Because it seems like a very specific amount.
Haggle. I don't haggle.
She just said, "I'm looking for $28 for this cartridge."
I just wanted to see the Great Deku Tree die. Spoiler alert! Oh my god.
Oh god.
But
anyway, I mean, like you have a lot more patience when you're younger. Yeah. I still never had the patience for the water temple.
Is that true?
I would say. I mean, like when you're younger, your time is not valuable. You don't have to go to work or anything. You could just kind of play games all day, and then it's like if you want to play Battleborn, you just play Battleborn. Unlock every character.
I could do that.
We're going to get into that a little bit later. I think, actually, can we just take a second to just talk about this? This is the Hollywood Redux studio.
Something's different.
Something's different. I think it's the fact that they could see us with their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But just to show it off a little bit, look at this place. This is pretty cool. We got our comics, all our cool stuff. You got our Ewok, if you want to speak the Jub over here.
I had that Riddler toy as a youth. The Legends of the Batman Riddler toy that the camera probably can't pick up.
I hope the camera can see it. It's awesome, you guys.
But yeah,
we're just very happy to show it off now that this is where we've been podcasting from, and we get to finally bring it to you guys and show you all the cool stuff.
Now you know.
That we got to peruse and be around and soak up.
And I love this place. It makes me feel warm. But also what happened this month, we went to WonderCon.
WonderCon, Los Angeles Convention Center. It's like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
I would say 2 weeks and change by my watch.
Pretty cool.
A couple days.
But huge. That was really big.
So much fun.
I was kind of expecting maybe a smaller event. I know that they just moved WonderCon from Anaheim.
I had never been to WonderCon before. I only have been to like Icon on Long Island.
Stony Brook representing.
And they also did it at the Brentwood campus one year. When they wouldn't let them carry swords in anymore.
Community
and then
college.
New York then the New York Comic Con.
I've been to that one. I think
seeing the Warren Ellis documentary was truly a gift.
Waited online for that.
From the makers of the Grant Morrison documentary.
Oh.
But WonderCon was great. Got to see Preacher. Friggin' really held up. Got to play a lot of great games.
You were meeting some people too. You were meeting some heroes and celebrities.
I was on a Psylocke hunt. I came back to my house and my girlfriend's like, "Why are there so many pictures of you with these very tight purple-haired with dark-haired women?" And I'm like, "Oh, there was a Psylocke photo hunt. I had to go on that."
I did take many of those
just remembered
pictures.
she listens to this podcast, so now my ruse is completely destroyed.
What were you saying? I don't know. There's
Really
no
shot
pattern
myself in the
here.
foot there. Hi, baby.
There's no pattern to these pictures. They just all these ladies. How do you think they felt? Embarrassed.
I like it. The psychic mutants.
How do you think they felt showing up at the Comic-Con and she's wearing the same dress? Very embarrassing.
I feel like a sense
right,
of
Leah? Come
unity.
on. Think about how they feel. We had games there. There were comics there. There were movies there.
Yeah, played Star Fox. I tried to get you to play that Ghostbusters board game that would have probably taken 3 hours, but you're like, no.
Nothing else I want to do when I'm perusing a giant comic convention than sit down at a table and play a board game for an hour and a half that I've never played before.
But that's what I love about. That's what I really liked about this. There was less TV shows. Like even though I mentioned Preacher off the top, there were a lot more. There were a lot of vendors. There was a lot of
it
really.
doesn't feel like Comic-Con where it's like it's only about going to the presentations for the movies and then everything else kind of is secondary. It really felt very balanced.
I imagine the vendor fees and then like the small publication units and crews were probably less because floor space was probably less in demand because of I don't know
it being
people,
a new event.
No, people like not. It's been going on for a little bit, but
In LA, I mean, new event to the county.
But beyond that, got to play the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Mutants in Manhattan. How cool was that, right?
Fun. I like
blast.
the side-scrolling multiplayer turtles. If I'm playing as a turtle, I like to have 3 other people potentially playing as turtles next to me.
Well, to break it down, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a little bit of an open world, and then you're playing with the other turtles. They're kind of AI, but you could also switch. If you're a single-player guy, you don't have a lot of friends.
Kind of linear, though. It's not like as open world. It's like
No, you have goals and missions. But the guy was telling me there is that is technically an open world that you can kind of traverse around in. You're running up and down buildings. That felt very cool. There's a really quick flow to the movement and to combat, especially. You have a lot of special moves at your disposal.
Sure.
I don't know. I kind of played as Donatello mostly because Donatello is obviously the coolest turtle. But
I would disagree.
You know,
I would argue him to be the biggest nerd.
He's got bronze. He's
Not
also
as
a
much.
ninja.
Not as much.
He's got cool gadgets. Whatever. I like Leonardo. I'm not really going to draw lines.
Would you call Donatello the coolest, like, of the ninjas?
No, he's not the coolest, but maybe that's what makes him cool.
I feel like if you had to go, like, the coolest was a 3-way argument, a very impassioned argument between Raphael, Michelangelo's pizza skateboard attitude, Raphael's rude but cool.
Rude but cool.
And
that's points.
The quiet, humble, authoritative voice of Leonardo.
There's a difference,
what truly makes
between
coolness.
being the lead. I mean, Leonardo, de facto leader, I would say.
I would have to go Raph.
Oh man, we cannot have this conversation right now.
Nothing cooler than going to the movies alone and then just like popping your collar.
He doesn't need no blades on
just a turtle in a man's world.
I just got a spike.
I also played Star Fox.
Oh, at the. They can actually see what I'm doing now. Shut up. Okay, sorry. It was cool. They had some unreleased games. So that Turtles game, I think, is coming out in June or July.
I think so, probably.
So it's unreleased as of now. Star Fox.
Really quick, I think I will go back to that. I think we just forgot to mention we're broadcasting from Hollywood Redux. Check out our other podcasts, the K-Files, the Writer's Room, and then us. You could check, I believe our... what's our handle on our Xbox tag is Dim Redux Games.
If you want to add Tim or Matt from Hollywood Redux, Dim Redux Games. If you want to add me on that Xbox gamer tag, that is Justin Sweet, AHJUSTINSWEET. Look it up.
And the Twitch is Infinite Grenade Launcher, one word, if you want to watch live. And then they do go to our YouTube page if you want to check those out.
Yeah, tons of people checking us out on YouTube. We're chatting with you on Twitch when you want to play. If you have any requests for weird stuff you want us to do or...
Last time they requested that we play a multiplayer game today, and Twitch was down for a little bit. We tried to get that going with Battleborn,
so
which we'll get to.
But
really quick to go back to Star Fox, I know I did know I tangentaled from there, but tangentaled.
Is that me?
That's when you're being very gentle about going off topic.
You might say you're being very Justin Gentile about that topic.
Oh, that's adorable. Brandon! Brand. We're generating content. But Star Fox was really fun. Brought me back to a very safe and comfortable place in my childhood. Like I remember where I was the first time. Frog just started just.
Slappy.
Slappy. Love that cat.
But I love playing that.
Slappy looks like every scene kid.
Star Fox 64 though, that is a timeless designed game in terms of level design. I do not bore of playing that first level over and over and over again, and I don't know why.
Really fun. And I'll tell you, like, I've been, not when I'm, like, alone, I've been doing, like, I bought Mass Effect 3 too, so I'm playing that a little bit, but then I've been doing the entire run of 007 Agent on GoldenEye. Oh my god. Complete freaking nightmare. Probably hard, like, I'm just remembering, like, everything, getting back into it, like, it probably is, like, just as many respawn deaths as Dark Souls. I'm not entirely sure.
It's not they don't make them like that anymore. And plus, it's just, it's something about when you're playing a game like that and there is no cover mechanic and there's no other, like, we're going to talk about the Division.
There's a cover mechanic. You can, like, pop down and, like, if you crouch and down.
You can duck.
And you could duck and then, like, I forgot even about, like, peeking out. Like, you could just, like,
with the
pop out,
C.
like, whoop, like, aim on a dude, pop out, whoop, pop.
But it must be even harder because you go back, you want to use the same tactics maybe you use in some of the modern time games. Can't do that now.
The thing that upset me most, like, I got not physically, but I got, like, very upset when to do it. And again, I know we're tangenting from this, but with the train mission, oh my god, I have to hit every objective. She has to hack the software in under 5 minutes, and then I have to do the watch to drop out the thing. She's just been exploding into the. I don't even want to talk about it.
It's okay.
Back to Wondercon. Okay. I got a lot of great variant issues. Picked up some really great variants of Secret War, some Scotty Young covers that I was really digging. A couple Miracle Man issues.
I saw the
Vendetta. I was missing.
I saw the Black Power Ranger.
Like. The person
he was there. Right, he was there.
I think it was the stone's throw from Lou Ferrigno, who I hugged and made me feel really good about myself.
When you run out of money at the Comic-Con, the best, I think, entertainment you can have is going down that personal appearance alley where you're seeing, like, there's Michelangelo from the third Turtles movie wearing his beat-up costume, and, like, there's the lady from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, even though she's 90 now. It's sad, but it's, like, so mind-blowing. It really is. It's human emotion at its core.
The way that I see it, I like to think of it as that they've made a significant contribution to pop culture, and this is sort of like an unofficial retirement plan for people who might not have, like, how's the guy who played a Sleestack gonna, pay for his kid's college?
Blew 37 guys in Clerks. She was there. It's not like she's,
walked in. I walked into WonderCon. There's, like, the DC booth, there's the Image booth, and there's legendary Batman artist Neil Adams with a $30 sign over his head. It's like autographs, pictures, and I walked up to him and I said, Mr. Adams, I just want to say I don't have $30, but I'm a huge fan of your work. It really means a lot to me. And he's like, how'd you get a ticket then? And I was like, oh, well, the people that I work for,
Hollywood Redux production company, Hollywood Redux.
And he's like, oh, you're a smart one, ain't you? Crusty old Neil Adams. Just, oh my God. It made me feel like I talked to Commissioner Gordon for like a minute. Like, that's the feeling I got talking to Neil Adams.
At my last job,
if I say his name a third time, he appears. Go ahead. At your last job?
I don't want to say it, but prominent comic book writer too, and on the way to WonderCon, I got to say, "Hey, Mr. Vaughn, are you going to be at WonderCon?" And he's like, "No, no, I'm busy. No.
How many?
So, in case you're a fan of the book Saga, really good stuff. I have it. Yeah, it's
the coffee table book. Are you up to date?
No, I'm not up to date. I just have the coffee table book.
They got but those trades keep coming out.
I know.
You got to get. They collect
the trades don't stop.
I've read. I only mention this like quick tangent. I've read everything that Brian K. Vaughan has like ever written. Ex Machina, the story of a New York City engineer who gains the powers of the ability to talk to machines. Why the Last Man, the post-apocalyptic matriarchal commentary. What is that? Pride of the Lion, or it's about these tigers or lions that escaped from an Iraq zoo during our invasion.
Oh man!
And it's like sort of the Lion King, but they're talking like in human. But it's a very good read, and then other things.
This is great stuff. I felt so cool though because I got to feel like I was talking to Commissioner Gordon. I don't want to blow it up. I'm not going to like introduce him to my friend or anything. But then on the way out, I was like, "Hey, buddy, do you know who that was? That's my old friend. Don't worry about it."
That's Yorick's dad.
Wow. I want to go over because last time. I'm sorry. Were you going to talk more WonderCon?
I had a blast. I wanted to just even thank the guys at Hollywood Redux for sending me there. Agreed. Next time we do like a con or something, I definitely want to do a remote. I had so much fun. It's so good seeing people who like love many different aspects of counterculture, and then even now more popular culture. identify with each other, and it was like a nice big playground. Went every day,
and there's a lot to show off. If you're not there, if you're at home and you want to see some really cool stuff,
I kept looking for a guy with an extra magic deck to pick up, but no one.
I guarantee they're there.
They were in the tournaments.
I know we're gonna do a little correction because last month we wanted to go out of our way and play The Division for you guys. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the podcast. Been a big deal. The Division has been taking the game world by storm. So, of course, we wanted to play it for our last episode. If you haven't seen, it's actually pretty hilarious. Go on our YouTube, and you can see our first part 1 playthrough of the Division's line simulator.
Yeah.
Which
we stood in a line.
The PTSD is
Listen,
like
but
going
you've been
through
playing
my veins
it.
right
don't
now.
go back to the negative place. Go to the podcast. You've been playing. Like, what level you're at right now? Like, how much?
I am pretty excited to let you guys know I am level 29 out of 30. It's pretty awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We are almost at the level cap. I'm just a little afraid that if I hit the level cap, I'm going to severely limit the amount of loot that gets dropped for me. So I'm kind of postponing that. So basically where we're at is trying to explore the Dark Zone. Well, let me break it down for everybody. So I got into the game pretty heavily. It is mentally spurious. That's like what I keep telling everyone. The kind of game like you go to work the next day and you're so tired on the drive and you're like, why am I this tired? And you're like, oh, right. I was playing the Division till 1 a.m, try to like figure out how I can best covertly attack these guys. Like it's a very intense and also mentally stimulating. Yeah, we'll go with that. Stimulating game. It really takes a lot to kind of see how you're going to go through it. So you're working on your loadouts, you're working on your modifications, you're working on your weapons. The cover mechanic is like out of control. So I'm jumping over stuff, I'm running through things. It really feels almost like unmatched in terms of like when you're in a firefight.
Is it worth buying?
Listen, if you like to play your games for 3 days at a time, like I did, I probably played it for over 60 hours now, and I am going to be honest, I'm a little bit sick of it, because at this point, it is totally an essential grind.
Sure.
I've beaten all the main missions. I don't really have an interest in playing them over again for new loot. They did just release a new mode called Incursions, and Incursions are kind of like raids.
Sure.
It's, you can team up with multiple people, kind of bigger gameplay levels, but at this point, I really am kind of like treading water. So I got to say, in the month that we hated the game, I loved the game, and now I'm a little over it. But I do want to tell any of our listeners to please add me, because I need some recon buddies in the Dark Zone. I'm only level 5 in the Dark Zone right now. Basically, the Dark Zone is PvP.
Talk to me.
Yeah, it's just basically the end game takes place in the Dark Zone.
Okay.
You can there's higher level enemies and stuff, but you really need kind of a crew to go with.
Sure.
And
as you do with most raids.
I myself, well, I'm not an MMO guy, but I myself am usually a lone wolf. So if you're interested in playing with me, Justin, sweet, we can raid some stuff, man. We can get some stuff. We can extract it out of that Dark Zone. Be with me.
Do it. He needs help, and
it still honestly reminds me of like Big Boy Freedom Fighters, that game I'm in love with from Xbox, the original.
I think you were telling
me about that. PlayStation 2. It's just it's basically the same. Well, it's not so much the same. In the Division, of virus overtakes New York. In Freedom Fighters, it's like some Soviet country.
Oh, Freedom Fighters, right.
That overtakes New York, and it's like squad mechanics cover, and this is just like
that was like
bumped
dual
up to 100.
PS2, Xbox,
and GameCube. Also,
it had that guy. It was the red and white cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's super fun, and the Division has a really similar feeling where you're in a firefight, you're undercover, and you really feel like you're progressing against an enemy. It's got that visceral quality that it's not just
advancing the front and whatnot.
Yeah, but and really you feel it though. It's not like in Battleborn, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That is so button mashy at a certain point that I really don't feel like I'm making a difference. And in the Division, I really feel like I'm pushing through some stuff.
Well, I mean, I think like. Let's start talking about Battleborn, right?
Yeah,
I had a blast playing it, but also it is a very, very different type of online experience.
A little overwhelming
because it's like how much do you respawn in the Division? Like, is there respawning, or are you like when you die?
I mean, no,
you
definitely you respawn, and you're playing with other people. They could always help you out, and you're respawning. There's not really any.
There's like the option to heal.
Well, the thing about the Division is that when you respawn, you're kind of getting back into the same thing you were. It's not part of like a progressive match or anything. You're not losing out because you're respawning. You're just kind of like starting again. So it's a little bit different than that competitive mindset.
Okay.
Of Battleborn.
Which I love. Like I love.
Like there's a lot more checkpoints and stuff in the Division. It's those linear progression levels.
I think it was yeah. But I think it was like maybe the GoldenEye that has gotten me just into playing like first person shooters against multiplayer. And I haven't played a lot of Team Fortress, and everyone like, oh, cry noob or whatever. I don't really care.
Me too.
But just didn't have the check at the time. Now that I kind of do, I want to play a lot more. And Battleborn is fun. I really enjoy how you're like it doesn't allow you to switch your characters like mid loadout. You pick your character, you're in there for 30, and at the very least, like even if you don't enjoy the character or it has like some strengths or some weaknesses that you don't identify with, you get familiar with what that character does and how you can best support your other team as you try to advance your.
It's so class based, and the design is out of control. Every character is like really excellent character designs to the point that they really kind of shield what the classes even are. So a lot of times you look at a character and you really have to kind of play a full round to understand, like, is it more of a stealth guy? Is it more of a... There's really no way that
I looked online after and I was like, oh, there's 4 different like subset groups that aren't like visually like apparent through like the character select screen. But you get like your mid, well, like what do they have? Like they have like your healers, like your druids, the mushroom dude who throws the knives. You got like your balanced fighters, then you have your melee guys, and then like your sort of ranged tank.
But more stealth too. Like, well, yeah, that stealth with the ranged tank with the minigun.
That demon kid,
but the demon guy we unlocked. So what's cool
is Gengar on his back.
You actually have in the multiplayer modes, you have access to 25 different characters. You only start, I think, with about 8 of them. But as you're playing through, you're unlocking them. So it gives you something to do as you're playing. You're unlocking the new characters, and I mean, like I said, if anything, it's almost overwhelming because the characters are so well designed, and you want to play as all the different characters, and then almost to a fault. Like I would play as a character and be like, I want to love you, like please, like Wrath. You got those cool swords, and it's just not my kind of gameplay. Or like for that class.
I think like for you, like you don't like losing, like in any situation. So like the idea of like even respawning, like oh what? Did my melee character friggin' die in the middle of this thing? But you just got to go out swinging, which is fun. But at the same time, oh man, what was I gonna say? I love steampunk butler.
Oh, well, yeah.
What was that guy's?
Cool.
Tiberius?
Robotic owl. Marquis.
The Marquis de Sade.
Well, basically, the game, I think, like, the story of the game is that there's some giant evil... It's, Battleborn is made by Gearbox, who, if you're familiar with Gearbox, they did the Borderlands games. I love the Borderlands 2, like, one of my favorite games to play through.
Played Borderlands for about 5 minutes on each game.
Yeah.
At my friend's house. I've never played, like, full... I enjoyed it. It's very off the wall.
No, yeah, it's great. And they brought that kind of jeu de vie to Battleborn, too, like the voicing, the announcers.
I don't speak French.
Joy of life, jeu de vie. They're calling you douches when you're playing Battleborn in the game, and the announcers just kind of making fun of you. It definitely has that like more humorous approach, which is cool. But I almost felt like Battleborn is very spread out. You know, a lot of different characters. The story of the game is that there's a main evil.
I like the maps. Maps are very well balanced, and the more like we started like not knowing the maps at all, and then like we were playing with like guys who have been like going really hard on the demo, and I felt like relatively quickly we kind of got sort of like, okay, this is kind of what we need to do: collect shards to power up the things, escort the minions, sort of. But then you're learning about the level, and then you're learning like the different aspects of your character. But then you're also like leveling up on the fly. So every time like you really achieve like a knockout or like an assist, or you set up enough things or fulfill enough like side missions.
You're waiting to augment your abilities.
You're like little quick whoop left right. You can like check your like.
That's cool.
What's
Yeah,
gonna
they give
do,
you a
so
little
can, like,
selection too, and you can kind of balance yourself.
Upgrade your different like power up sizes and stuff. I love the range. I love the like the character that frustrated me the least was Marquis, like easily, because he's good for like close up with the guns, but then he had like really good range. Like his probably had the most powerful range thing. So I was able to like.
Was that the owl? That like owl thing? I mean, it's just...
I didn't see what the owl goes in, and I was like, okay, and then like he kind of like I've seen it like the owl attack me and the damage that it does, but I've never like felt that. Like he drops a temporal distortion thing that like I don't think that you can see like as another. I'm not sure if you're able to see it like on the other team, but I've definitely felt like I'm moving slower. So when he drops this temporal distortion thing, you get in there and everything sort of gets down slower, and he's able to just like dodge around you and hit you with a couple like larger stuff. I like the melees in this.
Yeah.
They're very comical. Just a guy flicking or just
flicks
like
your head.
It's like, get out of here. I don't want your cheese. It's fucking
Got
awesome.
jazz hands.
Sorry for swearing.
It No, please don't be sorry.
Fuck you.
Oh, all right. Now you should be sorry. It's. I personally thought the maps were a little much. I thought we were playing like over the same map in terms of it's very much like a MOBA though. It's not structured the same way that a multiplayer map is. It is pretty clearly defined in terms of, like a MOBA. I'm talking about League of Legends.
Yeah.
Your Defense of the Agents and things like that. Like you can kind of draw a map over this map and say like, here's your left lane, here's your right lane, guard that, guard this. There wasn't a lot of communication with our team too. I think that would probably help out too if you could really, get in there with your team chat and really communicate. And the game, I don't think really does a...
That's what we get for selling our Xbox headset microphones for tickets to Ratchet and Clank.
I thought it was gonna be good. I don't know. I love those games.
I haven't seen it yet. They're fun games.
The movie didn't come out yet.
I know.
Speaking of Battleborn coming out May 3rd, 2016, so this is the beta. It's an open beta. You can play it on PS4. You can play it on Xbox One. You can play it on PC.
Huh?
The developer is...
Oh, the developer is Gearbox Software and the publisher is 2K Games.
Mm-hmm. You know what that means. Quality.
Quality.
Quality all
Quality.
around.
Every time you say quality, I'm going to say quality.
But that was what I was saying about Battleborn. It's that they you unlock new characters, and they do have an explanation when you unlock the new characters of what their abilities do. But when you start out with those first 8 or 10 characters, you really just have to play to figure out the abilities. Yeah. So my suggestion would be, if we have a Battleborn tip for you, do some light reading. Do a little reading. See what each of the features, see what each of those commands actually do. Otherwise, you can spend time jumping some rounds and play. There's a single-player mode as well that we played a little bit. What I thought was cool about the single-player mode is you actually have lives.
I also liked how the single player mode they like people were like, oh, there's not a real story there. I like the VO work. I feel like there's enough VO work, but it really seems to be running on the engine that they made for the online play.
The story being that there's a great evil that's taken over this part of the galaxy, so the 25 different characters are 25 different warriors from different planets that have come together to basically defend this area of space.
Sort of like a battle world type situation.
Sort of like Overwatch, actually, that Blizzard game. That's pretty much the same thing. Like, did they change the name like a month ago or something?
I haven't played any of that. I don't.
It's a popular category right now. I would say that kind of first-person MOBA shooter up.
I blame the Counter-Strike.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm very happy that we got to play Battleborn, because if we played Dark Souls, I probably would have cut myself already numerous times.
Oh, dark imagery. If I played Dark Souls, I would have bought a bunch of candy and fed it to myself.
And then thrown up in the morning, because I'm trying to say that it would have been a bad time.
I'm trying to say I like a challenge. Like, I'm playing through Mass Effect on, what was the difficulty I chose? Uncomfortable. No, I don't think that's the actual thing, but it might be like insanity or extreme, which is my favorite. But like it's hard. It's a very hard game, and then it's a duck and cover. But
there's a difference, I think, between skill and there's a difference between like gratuitous difficulty. Some games kind of don't go out of their way they just make the enemies harder. They don't make the skill that you need to best those enemies to be more prudent.
Or like enemies get like stronger as just you level up. Like you'll level up, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, the guys that have
that's in the Division.
Get stronger are now stronger.
Yeah, that's in the Division. Oh, these riders used to be level 5 and now they're level 28. They've been working on their stuff too, just as hard as you've been working on your Division, they've been working on their Alex, the rider, or the cleaner guy, I forgot his name, with the fire extinguisher. They keep reusing the names.
Can I tell you something? I really want to play Quantum Break.
Yeah.
I know.
We did have some plans to play Quantum Break today. Remedy's new hit.
Quantum Break.
So much of a hit because we couldn't get it.
Quantum Break, or as I learned from the trailer, The Adventures of Bobby Drake.
No.
And, what's his face? I almost said Sam.
Nathan Drake?
It's Charlie. Charlie from Lost.
Oh. Speaking of, that commercial is probably the most annoying commercial.
Charlie and Bobby.
With that Nirvana cover, it's like, come As you are.
haven't
In the
seen it
Quantum Break commercial. So every time it comes on now, I just sing the lyrics to Smash Mouth All-Star. While like, somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. It's deep, man.
And then that's why you sing Smash Mouth over a Nirvana song.
It just makes it a little less annoying to me.
Sure. Anything. I love jokes
when you hear the commercial,
advertising.
When you hear the commercial, you know which one I'm talking about now. It'll stick in your brain.
I don't watch television.
If you don't watch television,
I rarely Hulu. I watch television.
No, but I was gonna say you might not like Quantum Break. You know, Quantum Break. What's interesting about it is they've actually made live action episodes. Mm-hmm. So you're playing the game breaks, you have to watch a 30-minute episode. I don't even like network TV to begin with, so I don't know how this is going to work.
It's getting better.
But I'm excited.
Case in point, Hannibal.
Oh, yeah, with the deer guy? I didn't watch it. I just learned about that guy last week.
Jeff Lemire, Sweet Tooth?
That's the great thing about Wikipedia. You're like, that's a cool thing about something that I'm totally not a part of, but I learned about it a little bit.
Sure.
You're like, oh, the stag. Cool. He represents Hannibal. I'm never going to watch that show. All right, that's the whole internet now. It's just I'm an expert on Hannibal. What can I say?
Hannibal expert.
Well, that guy's doing the what's that new show? Brian Fuller's doing a new show, but that sounds very.
Oh,
good.
you mean the new Star Trek show?
Yes. So that might be pretty cool. And they're saying now it might be a yearly anthology. Like every season might be a different time frame in the Star Trek universe. Check that out, guys.
Great.
Breaking news on Hollywood Redux.
I want Voyager B stories.
If you want,
get me back on that ship.
And if you want to hear more talk about entertainment and stuff like that, make sure you check out the Writers Room podcast. Don't forget, guys, also the K-Files is still going, still rocking strong. You've heard about the LBO, but here it is, guys. Just to give you a little sneak preview, if you're a K-Files fan, this is where the magic happens, okay?
Yeah.
Soak it in. Take it in.
Again, if you want to find our Xbox tag, I'm at Dim Redux Games. Our Twitch is Infinite Grenade Launcher. You can find us at Hollywood Redux. I would say Battleborn is definitely like the beta. If you have it, it's definitely worth.
It's going to be
investing your time into.
Yeah.
I think when Star Fox comes out, I don't know if that's gonna be. I don't think that there's anything at this point to get me to get a Wii U yet.
I had it.
I'm interested to see what's coming out next for them. I like how Xbox isn't. They talked about how they're not trying to release new systems and stuff, and really we reached like a point where like, okay, let's work with what we have, and we can really make some really quality games. And this is just a very exciting time for gaming.
Well, they worked hard on the cloud. So the idea being that with cloud computing, your system will be able to make better graphics because of the cloud computing. So we don't even have games, I think, at this point that really take even advantage of that on the Xbox side.
Because it has the capacity and potential to take over us all. I'm kidding, of course. What is Skynet? But, you know, in regards to the Xbox One...
The future of the Xbox
they're
One.
Updating... we just got a news brief from the head office. Apparently they are doing a software update in the spring that's going to... for Windows 10, that can pretty much turn your Xbox One into a dev kit.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty mind-blowing, just be able to...
Just don't
possibilities be endless.
I'm really looking forward to crashing Skyrim. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, your friend starts making some. Maybe you can get. You're getting into the animation game. Maybe you're going to get into the Xbox One game.
Please, no work at the office.
Well, there's so many things that are happening. Like now they have cross-platform play. They started that originally with Microsoft, and that's part of I think why they're going to do this whole thing with the new software update. That you could play Windows 10 gamers. Yep. You could play on Xbox One. Mm-hmm. They've also announced that pretty soon, as long as Sony is okay with this, you'll be able to play online against people playing PS4, which currently is in Rocket League.
Right.
I believe has total cross-platform play. What do you think that means necessarily for the future of gaming? Is there going to be less of a...
World peace.
Why not?
Nothing short of world peace. The closer we get to everybody playing each other... the closer we get to, just bigger handshakes after the bigger games.
It's like a dream, you know? If we could just get rid of this whole fanboy mentality and just... I always say this about cars, okay? Here's my analogy.
The movie?
They're talking cars.
You better watch what you say about Lasser,
the
friend.
eyes are supposed to be their headlights, not the eyes on the... Okay, no, sorry, that's not my thing about cars. Here's my analogy. I'm saying everyone is very particular about their car. I
Sure.
like Toyota. You like Honda. We think that means something about what we like. So my Corolla needs to have these features.
I like Dodge, for the record.
Your Dodge needs to have these features. The point being,
I won't let you
if
slander my name on Honda.
if there was one car company, we would probably have amazing options for you. Would have a tank that went 1,000 miles.
Thank God there are anti-monopoly laws in place to prevent such an
You
engagement
don't
happening.
bring your capitalist nonsense
Why don't we
into this.
Why don't we start? Like,
But-
how
but-
hard is
but-
it to get a loan to start a car company? Like,
That's Tesla. I don't know. He's breaking them up right now. But the point being,
I'd pick up my phone and email Elon Musk, but I don't want to make.
I don't want to annoy him
auxiliary
right now.
sounds.
It's late. And
I heard.
the point being, if that was the same case with video games, we could have, if we had one system that everyone was generating the games for, if everyone was producing games for one system, we would probably have so many choices. We would have the most amazing games. We would have the best functionality. But instead of that, we're so busy being like, but is it going to work with my PlayStation Network, or is it going to work on my, I think that we're going towards that.
I think if you're a company making video games, there's a certain, like, you have to, like, yes, like, you're trying to do that, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it's a hard call, because it's at the same time, like, are you going to, like, okay, if your game is going to be like old PCs way back in the day that were just, like, open for modding, you want the player, like, to be able to, like, consumer customer to be able to customize, buy new parts, add different things to your personal computer, or the Apple mentality, which is like, oh, shut it down, it's a closed system, you can't really do anything. But, like, even though that, like, it's not really the case anymore. So maybe in our hubris we'll have a Tower of Babel situation where everyone just tries, building one to the top.
As much as they want to say
down.
that games, I think, are an emerging industry.
Emerging?
I think it's only
They've
emerging.
emerged.
Right. No, but emerging in the sense that the industry is still growing, but it's not necessarily growing to the same novelty players or the same hardcore gamers. The way the industry is growing is the casual gamer. And if that's going to be the case, like, maybe that is more beneficial, like, if there was only one system, like, hypothetically, but it's not necessarily, I think, for the hardcore gamer, these innovations always. I think it's almost to, attract people, the ease of it, that...
I mean, that too, but then also, like, you have guys that, like, I know guys that are just game exclusively on PC that don't...
The master race.
They don't touch consoles. And so that kind of opens it up a little bit to be in that world, because it's like, oh, you're just a console jockey, have been since the day you were born.
If I could just get my VR on, I would just never leave. If I could, but that's another. You need a nice PC for that. You need a high-end PC. You need 8 gigs of RAM. You need your Radeon 970 card.
A letter
or whatever.
from your doctor.
Yeah, right.
A small petition.
You got to call out of work.
I can play this game.
But,
and then a third funny thing, which is just lands.
Rule of threes. But that's my future.
I think they make... I don't know.
And you got PlayStation VR coming out. If anything, I will be very
Looking forward
excited.
to that luge game.
Saw a great little Facebook VR today. So you're in Facebook, in VR. You take a selfie picture with your buddy, and then you can just drop it in the mailbox and it posts to Facebook. I literally got giddy that's the future now. We can just grab it virtually and throw it in there. What a world. What a world.
Worlds within worlds.
Colliding and shit.
The, what have I been doing besides, like, in other gaming news? Yeah, GoldenEye. Proximity Mines hold up.
Brand new, guys. Check it out. Coming out soon. GoldenEye.
Developed.
developed.
Rareware has developed another classic, people. This one's called GoldenEye.
I hear Perfect Dark's coming out soon.
Oh, man. I hear that Perfect Dark's going to change the game.
Speaking of changing the game, thank you for joining us on our first video podcast.
I want to
right?
thank you.
Pretty cool.
Thank.
Did we look good? I think we looked good.
I want to say goodbye from the Infinite Grenade Launcher podcast. As always, listen to your parents. They're much smarter than you think.
Eat your vitamins.
And if you don't...
Drink your milk.
And if you don't... drink your milk.
You're like a dog if you don't. I don't know.
If you don't drink your milk, then you don't deserve chocolate.
You're nothing different than your pet. Be a human. Eat your vegetables.
All right. You can find me on @Magori's Quest and @PoorComedian.
Oh, @Justin_Gentile. Check me out. Add me on Facebook. I don't know. I don't really post anything on there, but I could use more friends. My mom likes to see that. She likes to see I'm popular.
Sure. Until next time, cause a wheel.
Peace out, guys. Thanks.